GOP representative drops bombshell, Seth Rich claim in local paper. CNN freaks. Despite a concerted effort on the part of Democrats, both in government and the media, a number of Americans remain unconvinced as to the official story regarding the alleged hacking of the Democrat National Committee's emails by Russian government-sponsored hackers, with some suspecting the hack was actually an insider leak by murdered DNC staffer Seth Rich. According to Real Clear Politics, Republican Texas Representative Blake Farenthold is one of those unconvinced Americans, and he just called for a full-on federal investigation of the matter during an appearance on CNN. During that appearance, Farenthold pointed out that no federal or local enforcement agencies ever actually inspected the purportedly hacked server for themselves, but instead relied upon an outside group contracted by the DNC to inform them of what had happened. My fears is our constant focusing on the Russians is deflecting away from some other things that we need to be investigating, Farenthold told CNN. There's still some question as to whether the intrusion of the DNC server was an inside job or whether or not it was the Russians. What evidence? I'm sorry, the insider job. What are you referring to here? Because I hope it's not this information that Fox News just refused to be reporting, anchor John Berman pushed back testily, to which Farenthold replied again, there's stuff circulating on the internet. What's circulating on the internet that you think is worthy of a congressional investigation, Berman pressed, because the DC police are investigating this, and so far they haven't said there's there. Yet the DC police nor no federal investigator has ever had a look at the DNC computer, Farenthold fired back. We're relying only on the report that someone that the DNC contracted to examine their computer rather than having federal officials. To me, we need to let the feds look at it. Hilariously, and without a hint of irony, co-host Poppy Harlow asked the congressman if he thought it was responsible as a representative to be discussing unproven things that are swirling on the internet, apparently oblivious to the mountain of baseless allegations against President Donald Trump also swirling on the internet that Democrats in Congress, as well as her own network, routinely speaks about as if they were proven facts. In a separate interview with the Corpus Christi Caller-Times, Farenthold reiterated his belief that the alleged Russian hacking of the DNC, as well as the suspicious death of DNC staffer Rich, should be investigated in the same manner as the alleged Russian interference in the 2016 election, the paper reported. That should be part of an ongoing investigation into alleged Russian interference in the election, because that's an alternative theory that deserves being looked at, Farenthold said. Noted internet hacker Kim.com recently put out a statement claiming that he knew firsthand that Seth Rich was involved in the leaking of DNC documents, claiming that Rich had become disgusted with the DNC. Kim further stated that he would be willing to testify as much and more to federal authorities under certain conditions, such as a guarantee of safe passage by newly minted special counsel Robert Mueller to the U.S. from his home in New Zealand. Fox News host Sean Hannity has also been pressing the Seth Rich story, which has earned him a second scoop of spite from leftists as they seek to silence him by pressuring his advertisers to pull out of his programs. When leftists in the media get exceptionally worked up over trying to advance a narrative or debunk a particular story, especially one unflattering or incriminating to Democrats, it often means there is some fire hidden behind all of the smoke. There's a lot of smoke emanating from the Seth Rich DNC WikiLeaks story, and Democrats and the media, but I repeat myself, are actually awfully anxious about it. Perhaps it's time for a full federal investigation of the matter, as Representative Farenthold called for. Let's take a quick listen here. Not that one.
He was unable to point to any specific evidence, and I think that's what we're going to continue to see there. And my fear is our constant focusing on the Russians is deflecting away for some other things that we need to be investigating in. There's still some question as to whether the intrusion at the DNC server was an insider job or whether or not it was the Russians.
What evidence? I'm sorry. What the insider job? What are you referring to here? Because I hope it's not this information that Fox News just refused to be reporting.
Well, again, there's stuff circulating on the internet. My question is,
what's circulating on the internet? What's circulating on the internet that you think is worthy of a congressional investigation? Because the DC police are investigating this, and so far they haven't said there's any there.
Yet the DC police nor no federal investigator has ever had a look at the DNC computer. We're relying only on the report of somebody that the DNC contracted to examine their computer rather than having federal officials. To me, we need to let feds look at it.
Notice how they wanted to make him out like to be not reliable. Anyway, let us know what you think in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching.